What do you get when you take an everyday plumber and shove him full of shrooms? That's right, everybody's favorite game mascot, Mario. Because he is everybody's favorite, right? I mean, come on, even this random Google user does say everybody should love Mario. And I mean, he's kind of right. When was the last time you were able to walk outside and not see somebody wearing a Mario shirt, or Mario socks, or Mario underwear? Yeah, I'm not quite sure why that last one exists, but it does. So hey, I bought it. Anyways, our favorite mustache marauder began back in July of... Wait a second, this isn't right. There we go. So it all began on July 9th, 1981 with the release of Donkey Kong, where Mario's here, but he's not even in the title of the game. He's just a random dude trying to chase down a gorilla. And somehow this game of jumping over the barrel started two massive franchises that sold 420 million games from this. But that's not the point of this video. Today we're talking about My Caped Crusader, who had his first headlining title in 1988 in Batman the... No, that's the other Caped Crusader. There we go. July 14th, 1983 was the beginning with the release of Mario Bros. For the Famicom and NES. We have to look 2 years later to September 13th, 1985 to find the game we're talking about today, Super Mario Bros. Now it's hard to look back to this game from nearly 40 years ago and to believe it was ever praised for its graphics, especially when we have games like Forza Horizon 4, Red Dead Redemption 2 out. I mean, shit, these games look more realistic than actually going outside. Man, these graphics suck! After looking at all of these new games with their 4K textures, ray tracing, 3D models, it's hard to look at Mario and think anything other than, yeah, that's a game alright. But Mason is literally 4 decades old. I guess it looks a little bit better. But the NES could only display 54 colors and only 24 at any given time. I guess it looks pretty decent. And the NES could only display 3 colors per sprite. Oh damn, that's kind of insane. And then you realize, okay, stop. Honestly, you can't let him get going like that. Amazing graphics were just a small piece of what Super Mario Bros. Offered though. With games like Legend of Zelda still a year out from being released, it was really the first opportunity people had to bring a whole new world into their living room. Thanks to the vision of guys like Shigeru Miyamoto and Takashi Tezuka, they created more than just a game. When you look at other games that released at the same time, like Ice Climbers or Excitebike, yeah, they were great games, but they just felt shallow compared to everything Super Mario Bros. Had to offer. The craziest part of all of this is how much they were able to cram into one small cartridge. Super Mario Bros. Is roughly 40 kilobytes. For reference for how small that is, the camera that's filming this video is filming at 60 frames per second and a resolution of 1920 pixels by 1080 pixels. That means that just by filming this video, I'm using 40 kilobytes of data every single frame, 60 times a second, every second, for this entire video. To see what 40 kilobytes of this video looks like, here. To me, looking back at this game, that's the craziest thing. But then again, I'm a guy sitting in my room alone at night at 3 a.m. making videos about video games. So I might be a nerd. So... we all know how Super Mario Bros. Starts. Its first level is one of the most iconic in gaming history, being copied over and over again throughout the years. Now, Nintendo doesn't just copy this old format because it's easy. There's a reason, probably. World 1-1 isn't famous just because it's the first level in one of the most iconic games of all time, though that probably does help quite a bit. See, tutorials didn't really exist at the time. Sure, you could read the manual that the game came with, but I mean, come on, who's got time for that? I can't read. No, you had to teach people who had never played a video game before how to play a video game purely through level design.
It's a little something we in the industry like to call conveyance.
Conveyance is the action of conveying. Well, that's no good. To impart or communicate by statement, suggestion, gesture, or appearance. That's exactly what this game does. Without signs to tell you what to do, or annoying text to explain, Mario Bros. Explains everything to you simply, allowing you to experience the joy of discovery all by yourself. As someone who's played video games for my entire life, controls aren't really something I think about. I assume you can run and jump in a game, and I always try to dash or sprint, whether I even know if it exists or not. And so I miss some of these more subtle choices. To me, it's just an easy set of obstacles that I can clear with no trouble at all, really, rather quickly. But that's the point. It's not supposed to be a tutorial that gets in your way every single time you play the game. But that first time, it teaches you everything, without you even realizing it's teaching you. It shoves information down your throat without even asking for your consent first. Kinda like Bill Clinton. Anyways, in the wake of the Atari 2600 exploding onto the scene in 1977, everybody wanted to get into video games. And I mean everybody. I mean, the Atari 2600 sold, holy shit, it sold 30 million units.
At $200 a unit for 30 million units, that's a lot.
When I say a lot of companies tried to get on video games, I mean a lot. But the problem with all of that is the market became oversaturated, and then in 1983, the video game industry did roughly $3 billion in sales. But in 1985, it did just barely $100 million. That's a 97% drop. But one guy saved it all. Remember the guy I mentioned earlier, Shigeru Miyamoto? Yeah, he kinda did a lot. If you ever played a Nintendo game in your life, he probably created it. Zelda, Donkey Kong, Star Fox. Hell, this man single-handedly created shoulder buttons on controllers. The crowning jewel, though, is when he came up with the idea of a love triangle between a carpenter, a gorilla, and a girl. Don't know how nobody ever came up with that one before. But that carpenter later became the plumber we love so well today, Mario. So it's 1985, and yeah, it's not exactly the best time to be making video games.
Fuck it. Huh. That worked.
And just like that, Crash ended. Turns out people weren't tired of video games, they were just tired of playing bad video games and the same ones over and over again. And that's why I own 15 copies of Madden 13. Super Mario Bros. Changed everything. Without it, we don't know where the gaming industry would be today. It saved an industry. Without it, we may have never had the games we love so much today. Halo, Half-Life, Madden 13, we just don't know. Entire online communities, millions of friendships may have just never existed. All thanks to the information stored on this one small cartridge.